Please stand by, and we're live. Hey everybody, Steve here, Steve Aqualung. Feeling like an Aqualung this week, coughing up along. Anyway, it's time for Strat-0-Matic baseball. And we've got what looks like a good one today, at least a good pitching matchup. Chicago Cubs at Los Angeles Dodgers. This is the first of a three-game set. This game took place on April 15th, 1966. Dick Ellsworth, the left-hander, going for the Cubs, and Don Drysdale, the righty, on the mound for Los Angeles. Ellsworth, a 3.98 ERA that year. He was 8-22, but that belies his overall greatness as a pitcher. Ellsworth was a very good pitcher. In fact, he led the league in ERA plus one year. Let me check that here. 1963, when he was 22-10 with a 2.11 and an ERA plus of 167. 66, the year we're in question here, he led the league in losses, but again, that was largely due to pitching for a bad ball club. Drysdale had a losing record himself that year of 13-16 with a 3.42 earned run average. Both pitchers were workhorses with inning totals fairly expected of that era. So there's your pitchers. We'll get going in a minute here. I've got some chamomile tea, still working on a raspy voice, so bear with me. And I'll give you the Cub lineup here. Let's go over the lineups. For the Cubs, playing second base and batting leadoff, Glenn Beckert. In left field, batting second, George Altman. Billy Williams will bat third and play right field, with Ron Santo, the third baseman, hitting cleanup. Ernie Banks will play first base and bat fifth. Ty Klein will be in center field today, hitting sixth. Randy Hundley will do the catching and bat seventh. That's not right. Yes, it is. Kessinger, the shortstop, bats eighth, and Ellsworth hits ninth. This score sheet here, I moved it up to the wrong column, but that's okay. Everything fits. It'll work. Here's the Dodger lineup. Maury Wills leads off and plays shortstop. Wes Parker plays first base and bats second. In left field, Lou Johnson moves up to the 3 spot against the left-handed starter. Ron Fairley in right field in his familiar cleanup spot. Jim Lefevre at third base, batting fifth. Jeff Torborg will catch today and hit sixth. Nate Oliver, the second baseman, hit seventh. Willie Davis in center has moved down to the 8th spot in the lineup against the left-hander, which I found kind of interesting. And Drysdale, a good hitting pitcher, hits ninth. So we are about ready to get underway here. Drysdale's completed his warm-ups, and Glenn Beckert set to come up to the plate as the umpire shouts, "Play ball, we're underway here." Drysdale gets the sign from Torborg, winds and deals, and the first pitch of the game to Beckert is a 1-7 against the right-hander. It's a single to 16, and it's in there. Between short and third into left field, a leadoff single for Glenn Beckert, and we are underway. Beckert, an asterisk 16, Drysdale with a +1 hold, Torborg a -1. Beckert will have to be held on. That will make him a 1-14. And that'll bring up George Altman. Altman, a left-handed batter. Beckert will stay put for now. Altman's hoping to shoot one through the hole with Beckert being held on. So Drysdale from the stretch. And here's the pitch to Altman. 4-8 against the lefty. A single into center field, and that's an open single. Beckert can try to go to third on that. He's a 14. Davis a -1. That's a 13. He's going to try for it. Okay, Beckert rounding second into third. Here's Davis's throw, 1-13, and he's in there. So a base hit Altman into center. Beckert steams into third, and the Cubs are in business right away in the first inning with runners at the corners and nobody out. Altman will not need to be held on. And here comes Billy Williams. Williams, a Hall of Famer. In fact, the next three batters in the Cub lineup are all Hall of Famers. Williams, Santo, and of course, Ernie Banks. Okay, Drysdale set to work now. The Dodgers will play the infield back. They'll give up a run here to get that double play. And from the stretch, Drysdale deals to Billy Williams. That's a 4-7 left-handed. That's a base hit up the middle. That'll drive in Beckert, and Altman cruises into third, and the Cubs are on top early, 1-0. So an RBI single for Billy Williams. Beckert comes in to score. First and third, still nobody out, and here comes Ron Santo. Torborg out to the mound now. Drysdale waving him off. Says, get back behind the plate and leave me alone. You're just pissing me off here. Okay, Santo stands in. Drysdale from the stretch. That's a 5-10 to the right-hander. Catcher's card X. Okay, that's going to be Torborg. He's a 3E7. Let's get the chart out here. Here's the roll on the play. Infield back. 3E7. That's going to be in the error frequency. So a 9 on an E7. That's a ground ball C. So Torborg makes the play. All runners advance and a run scores on the play. So Altman scores. That goes 2-3X, and Williams takes second on the play. And that will also be an RBI for Santo. And it's 2-0 here in the first. Runner on second now, one away, and here's Ernie Banks. Drysdale takes a look at Santo. I'm sorry, at Williams. Williams standing on second, of course, and Drysdale's pitch to Santo. That's a 1-5. Grounder to third base, A. That's going to be Lefevre. He throws him out, and Williams will take third on the play. So that'll go 5-3, Williams into third, and there's two away. 2-0, Cubs already. We're just getting underway here. And here's Ty Klein, the left-handed hitting center fielder. What did Klein do that year? He only had 88 at-bats, but he batted .273. He's been the center fielder so far. Drysdale ready now, and here's the pitch. That's going to be a 3-9. Swung on and missed strike three, and down goes Klein, and that'll do it. But the Cubs jump on top early with 2 on 3 hits, and they leave a man. And at the end of half an inning, it's Cubs 2, Dodgers coming to bat. And a big cheer from the fans as Maury Wills is announced as the leadoff spot. You got to do something with those cheers, right? Okay, here's Wills, switch hitter. He'll be batting right-handed against the left-handed Ellsworth. Ellsworth, the sign from Hundley. And here's the first pitch to Wills. That's going to be a 4-8. Wills slaps a base hit up the middle. Leadoff single, Wills. Wills, of course, a notorious base stealer. He's only an asterisk 15 this year. Let's see. Ellsworth is 0 and Hundley is 0. So Wills will have to be held on. That'll make him a 1-13. And the batter will be Wes Parker. Parker hitting right-handed. And Wills is going to try for the lead. On a 7, he's got it. Here he goes, 1-13. Here goes Wills, and he steals it on a possible overthrow number. Oh, my goodness. So now we got to look at Hundley. He is a T 1 through 10. Here's the roll for that. And he throws it into center field, and Wills ends up on third base. Oh, my goodness. How about that for excitement? Stolen base, Wills. Right off the bat, he's running. And that will also be an E2 error on the Cubs, and he ends up on third base. With a 2-0 lead, if Wills scored, it would be 2-1, is what I was thinking. The Cubs will play back. Parker hitting righty. Ellsworth's pitch is a 4-2. Ball 4, he loses Parker, and the Dodgers have something going in the bottom of the inning. So Wes Parker with the walk. Now he's not an asterisk, but he is a 14. They won't hold him on as Lou Johnson comes to bat. So first and third, nobody out. Here's Lou Johnson. Ellsworth in the jam here right off the bat. Infield back from the stretch. The pitch to Johnson is a 4-5. Fly to right field. That's going to score a run. So that's caught out there by Williams. Wills tags up and scores. And that will be a 9 sacrifice fly and an RBI for Johnson, and it's 2-1. One away, and Ron Fairley will be the hitter. And now Wes Parker is going to try for the lead. He needs a 7 or a 12. 4. He does not establish a good lead. He's not going to steal. So here's Fairley now, one away and a runner on first. Held on, not held on. He's not held on. Let me correct that. And here's the pitch to Fairley. Lefty on lefty gets a 3-9. That's going to be a ground ball to second. Beckert, diving stop behind first. His only play is to first. And Parker will take second base on the play. So 2 down. Wes Parker standing on second. And that'll bring up Jim Lefevre, the switch hitting third baseman, batting righty against Ellsworth. 2-1 Cubs, just getting started here. Pull up a chair. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-8, and that is a base hit into center, an open single. So Parker can try to score on that with... Where is Parker? He's a 16 with 2 outs at 18. Center field is Klein, a +1. He's a 1 through 19, and the Cubs are just going to concede that and hold Lefevre to a long single. So an RBI single by Lefevre ties the game as Parker comes in to score, and we've got a 2-2 ball game, and there's a lot of scoring already in this one. And with 2 away, Jeff Torborg will be the hitter. This is Torborg's first start at catcher of the season. Ellsworth from the stretch, trying to shut the door on this inning now. Here's the pitch to Torborg, a 5-5. Fly to left, playable. Altman is there. He's got it, and that will do it. The Dodgers come right back with 2 on a pair of hits and leave a man, and after 1 complete, it's 2-2. Give me just 1 minute here. I've got to put some food in this cat's bowl again. Okay, we're back. He's fine. I should start another series of videos about this cat. No, I'm only half being serious there at best. All right, Drysdale getting ready to work here as we move along to the top of the second. The Cubs will have the bottom of the order, Hundley, Kessinger, and the pitcher. Okay, Drysdale winds and delivers to Randy Hundley. 5-2. That's deep to left field. Back goes Johnson to the track, to the wall, and it just barely clears the wall. Home run, Randy Hundley. Oh my God, let's look at that again. 5-2 against a righty. Homer to 14, and it is a 14. So Hundley just does get that fence scraper out of here, and the Cubs take a 3-2 lead. And here's Don Kessinger. Kessinger, a switch hitter, will hit lefty against Drysdale. Drysdale winds and deals. 6-7 to the left-hander. That's second base X. That'll be Oliver. He's a 2E21. Here's the roll on the play. A 13 on a 2. And a fine play by Oliver. He picks it up and throws Kessinger out. So that'll go 4-3X, and with one down, Dick Ellsworth will be the batter. Ellsworth, a left-handed hitter. Drysdale, the windup. Here's the pitch to Ellsworth. That's a 4-7 to the lefty. And Ellsworth has a base hit up the middle. What do you know about that? So Dick Ellsworth, not known for his hitting, he picks up a single here, and he's down there at first base with one away. And we go back to the top of the Cub lineup now with Glenn Beckert. So neither pitcher particularly sharp so far. I build this as a pitching duel, and so far it's been anything but. Drysdale from the stretch. The pitch to Beckert is a 3-4. Fly to left field, playable. That's Lou Johnson. He's there and makes the catch, and there's 2 down. And that'll bring up Altman. Altman singled in the first. Came around to score. Drysdale from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Altman. That's a 1-8. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Oh my goodness. A ferocious cut by Altman, and all he caught was air. The Cubs add a run on 2 hits and leave a man. We go to the bottom of the second. Cubs 3, Dodgers 2. As Ellsworth takes his warm-ups, I'll take this opportunity to sip my tea. Still recovering from bronchitis, as I mentioned earlier. Feeling quite a bit better today than yesterday, thankfully. Okay, we're set to go in the bottom of the second. Nate Oliver, a light-hitting second baseman in there primarily for his defense, will lead it off. Ellsworth ready to work now. He gets the sign from Hundley. And here's the pitch. That's a 4-9 against the righty. And Oliver has himself a base hit. So a leadoff single for Nate Oliver. Oliver, an asterisk 15. He'll have to be held on. And that'll bring up Willie Davis. Oliver will not try for the lead. He has way too much chance of being automatically caught stealing. So Davis will bat away now. Runner held as Ellsworth delivers from the stretch. And hey, Simon's here. Greetings, Simon. Everything's functioning properly now. That's going to be a 2-5. And Davis, big old cut, swung on and missed, strike 3. Davis goes down to try to golf that one and catches nothing but air. And with one down, that'll bring up Drysdale. Drysdale, a right-handed hitter, of course, and a good hitting pitcher. Always was. Ellsworth ready to work from the stretch. The pitch to Drysdale is a 1-10. That's down to short, and that's going to be 2. Kessinger to Beckert to Banks, double play. So Drysdale bounces into the 6-4-3, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, no one left. At the end of 2 complete, it's Chicago 3, LA 2. Drysdale getting ready to go to work here in the 3rd inning. 3-2 ball game, just getting underway. And how about that World Series game last night, huh? God, I got just a moment on that. Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia. I texted Simon in the 9th inning and said they need to get 2 guys on and Seager wins it with a homer. Well, he didn't win it with a homer, but he sure as hell did tie it. And then Adolis walked it off. Very exciting game, a lot of fun. Here we go now back to this one. The Cubs will have the heart of the order up here in the third. Williams, Santo, and Banks, all three members of the Hall of Fame, of course, as I mentioned earlier. Drysdale set to work now. The sign from Torborg, and here's the pitch. That's a 5-9 to the lefty. That's deep to right field. Fairley going back on the track and makes the catch on the track. Let's look at that one again. 5-9 left-hander. Homer to 5. The roll is a 12. So Williams gave it a ride, but maybe got under it just a little too much. And that'll bring up Ron Santo. Santo, always a favorite of mine as a boy. I'm not sure why. I just liked him. And he finally got in the Hall of Fame, which was long overdue, I might add. Drysdale ready to go. The pitch to Santos, a 3-4 against the right-hander. Fly to left, that's playable for Johnson. He's there. And quickly there's 2 outs here in the third. And that'll bring up Ernie Banks. Ernie, let's play 2 Banks, stands in from the right side. Drysdale winds and deals. 5-5, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Banks on strikes. 1-2-3 inning for Drysdale, who seems to be settling in now. And we go to the bottom of the third, still 3-2 Cubs. All right, here's Ellsworth getting set to go now. He'll be facing the top of the Dodger lineup, Wills, Parker, and Johnson. Wills singled and stole second in the first, came around to score. Ellsworth ready to work now. Here's the pitch to Wills, a 1-8 against the lefty. Ball 4, he loses him. Not a good idea. You don't want to give those rabbits a free pass. Wills will be held on, of course. That'll make him a 1-13 if he establishes a good lead. They're going to give Parker a chance to swing here before we try anything like that. So Parker, also a switch hitter, steps in from the right side as Ellsworth from the stretch comes to the plate. That's a 3-7. That's a double to 2. He'll settle for a long double asterisk single. Wills, with his speed, cruises into third easily. And the Dodgers have something going here in the third. Walk to Wills, a single by Parker, and there's runners on the corners and nobody out. And that'll bring up Lou Johnson. The Cubs will play back this early, looking for the double play. Ellsworth from the stretch. The pitch to Johnson is a 5-4. That's catcher's card X. That'll be Hundley. He's a 2E6. Okay, here's the roll on the play. It's a 2 on a 2. Pop up. Hundley's got it. Runners cannot advance. So a nice play by Hundley. That'll go 2X, and that's the first out of the inning. And now Parker's going to try for the lead. 7 or a 12. 3 does not get the lead. Fairley will hit away. First and third, 1 down. Dodgers trail by a run. And here's Ellsworth from the stretch, and here's the pitch to Ron Fairley. That's a 5-8. That's a single 2-base advance. That will knock in Wills, Parker into third. And we got a tie ball game. So an RBI single by Fairley ties the game. Fairley not a threat to run. Now how do the Cubs play this? There's still only 1 out. Boy, I think I would stay at double play depth and try to get out of this with a ground ball. Okay, Lefevre standing in from the right side. Infield at double play depth. 3-3 ball game. Runners at first and third and 1 away. And here's the pitch to Lefevre. That's a 2-10. Homer on a 1. but it's an 11. So what happens there is we've got a deep fly ball to left. Altman catches it. Parker can tag up and jog home on that one, and that'll be a sacrifice fly for Lefevre. And he'll get credit for an RBI there, and it's 4-3 Los Angeles. So a sac fly by Lefevre brings in Wes Parker. And with 2 away, that'll bring up Jeff Torborg. Torborg flew out to left in the first inning. Ellsworth from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Torborg, a 3-4. Pop up, left side. Kessinger calling for it. He's there and puts it away to retire the side. But the Dodgers come up with 2 runs on a pair of hits and leave a man. After 3 complete, it's Los Angeles 4, Chicago 3. Hello, John. You made it back. John was here for the earlier game, the 1974 Dodgers against the Phillies. I had to think for a minute who they played, and I just did that one. Anyway, welcome, John. Hope your afternoon is going well. Okay, it's 4-3 after 3. Drysdale getting set to work here in the 4th, and he'll be looking at Klein, Hundley, and Kessinger. Drysdale gets the sign from Torborg. The wind-up and the pitch is a 4-10 to the lefty. Fly to right field, playable. Fairley's there. He's got it, and there's 1 away. And here's Randy Hundley. Hundley's home run in the second gave the Cubs the lead at the time. Drysdale winds and deals. That's a 1-5. Swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Hundley on strikes. So Drysdale settling down now, it seems, as Kessinger steps in from the left side. Here's the pitch from Drysdale. A 4-8 to the left-hander. That's a base hit up the middle for Kessinger. So Don Kessinger with a 2-out single. He's an asterisk 15, and he will have to be held on. And that'll bring up Ellsworth. Left-handed hitter. Drysdale from the stretch. The pitch to Ellsworth is a 5-10. That'll be the catcher's card X. Torborg, a 3-7 on an 8. Ground ball C. So it's a little grounder in front of the plate. Torborg pounces on it, throws to first in time. So that'll go as 2-3X. The side is retired. So the Cubs, no runs a hit, they leave a man. And we go to the bottom of the inning, still 4-3. Ellsworth will be facing the bottom of the Dodger order. Oliver, Davis, and the pitcher. I have to say it's kind of strange for me to see Willie Davis batting 8th, but that's where he batted in this game in real life. Using the lineups from Baseball Reference, of course. Ellsworth gets the sign from Hundley, winds and deals to Oliver. That's going to be a 6-10 to the right-hander. Fly to center, medium deep. That's Klein. He barely has to move and puts that one away. So a lazy fly to center by Oliver, and here's Willie Davis. Ellsworth, lefty on lefty now. Here's the pitch. That's a 4-10 to the left-hander. Grounder to second. That's Beckert. He scoops it up, throws on to Banks, 2 away. And with 2 down, Don Drysdale will be the hitter. Ellsworth set to go now. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-3. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Drysdale. A 1-2-3 inning for Ellsworth. And after 4 complete, it's LA 4, Chicago 3. Hey, Mike, welcome. Hope your afternoon is good. As we get in the mood for World Series Game 2 with a little 1966 Strat here. Dodgers leading 4-3, moving along to the 5th inning. The Cubs will have the top of the order: Beckert, Altman, and Billy Williams. Drysdale. Into the windup now. Big windup in the pitch. That's a 3-5. That's a liner right at Wills. So Beckert lines out to short, and there's one down. Here's George Altman now, 1 for 2. Drysdale winds and delivers. And the pitch to Altman is a 1-11. Grounder down to first. That's Parker. He's got it. Shovels to Drysdale. And quickly there's 2 away. And with 2 down, Billy Williams strides to the plate. Williams has got a lot of power, the kind of hitter that can tie a game with one swing of the bat. As Drysdale winds and delivers. That's a 4-6 to the lefty. A single to 3, but that will be a liner speared by Wes Parker. Oh my goodness, let's look at that again. 4-6 left-hander, single to 3, it's a 7. So, Williams stung it, Parker gloved it, and the Cubs are down in order in the 5th. Parker was a magnificent defensive first baseman anyway. Not all that surprising. Didn't hit as much as a lot of first basemen. He did have a good hitting year in 1970, I think it was. He was an okay hitter. Not a lot of power like a lot of the first basemen had then. But the Dodgers as a whole really didn't have any power in 66 anyway. I mean, Ron Fairley's their cleanup hitter, for God's sakes. Okay, Ellsworth getting ready to work here to the Dodgers. They'll have the top of their order: Wills, the aforementioned Parker, and Johnson. Wills standing in from the right side as Ellsworth winds and deals. A 3-11. That's a base hit the opposite field. Base hit into right for Wills. And Wills is 2 for 2 with a walk today, and he'll have to be held on, of course. Always a threat to run. And here comes Wes Parker. Ellsworth an S7 as far as fatigue goes. Hang on a second, I've got Wills in the wrong inning. Excuse me. There we go. Okay, Wills held. Here's Parker, batting righty. Ellsworth from the stretch. 2-7. Swung on him, missed strike 3, and down goes Parker. And with 1 out, Wills is going to attempt the lead. Well, where the heck did his card go? There he is. So, 15 held 13. He needs a 2 through 10 or a 12. He's got it. Here he goes, 1 to 13. And he's gunned down by Hundley. So Wills caught stealing this time. Live by the sword, die by the sword. He stole a base in the first, but he's gunned down by a fine throw by Randy Hundley here, and there's 2 away. And Ellsworth's next pitch to Parker is the 3-11. And that's a base hit into right for Parker. So Parker goes the other way. No. Parker struck out. 3-11 is, I'm sorry. 3-11 is Johnson, who flies it into left field. The play is made easily there by Altman. Looking for Will's card confused me. And of course, Parker was not the hitter. He'd already struck out. So just to make sure, let's double check that. Johnson the batter, 3-11, fly to left, and that will retire the side. So for the Dodgers, no runs in a hit, nobody left. Will's thrown out trying to steal. And at the end of 5 complete, it's Dodgers 4, Cubs 3. As Drysdale gets ready to go, I'll have a little more tea. Try to loosen up the vocal cords a little bit. Okay, we're set to go. Top of the sixth, it's Santo, Banks, and Klein due for the Cubs. Drysdale ready to work now as Ron Santo stands in. Here comes the pitch. It's a 2-11. That's a grounder down to short. Wills to his right, throws across in time, and there's one away. And here's Ernie Banks. Drysdale into the windup. The pitch to Banks, a 5-11, and that's a base hit into right field for Banks. So Ernie Banks, a one-out single. Banks very slow by this point in his career. And that'll bring up Klein. Klein 0 for 2 so far today. Runner on first, one away. Drysdale from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Klein. It's a 5-3. That's a fly ball to left field X. That'll be Johnson. He's a 2E5. Here's the play on a 1. That's going to be a double with a 2-base advance, so Johnson cannot get to it. That gets down the line. He does get it back in time to hold Banks at third. A faster runner might have attempted to score there. And Klein winds up at second on a double, and the Cubs have something going in the sixth here with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. And that'll bring up Hundley. Drysdale's also an S7 rated for fatigue, so that's not an issue yet. Be that as it may, Bob Miller is going to begin warming in the Dodger pen. Infield in now. Second and third and 1 out. The tying run at third. The Dodgers will pull the infield in for Hundley. And here's the pitch from the stretch. A 6-10. Swung on and missed strike 3. And what a big out that is. Oh my. Holy crap. And that'll bring up Kessinger, and now with 2 outs, they can play the infield back. Or they could put Kessinger on and pitch to Ellsworth. Of course, the Cubs, trailing by a run, might bat for Ellsworth in the 6th. All these are questions that must be pondered. Yeah, let's not load the bases and risk the pinch hitter. I'm trying to think for both teams. Sometimes it's difficult. They're going to pitch to Kessinger. Second and third, 2 away. Here's the pitch to Kessinger. That's a 5-7. He struck him out. Oh, my goodness. So with runners in scoring position and 1 away, Drysdale strikes out Hundley and Kessinger to get out of the jam. Holy cow, that was some clutch pitching by Drysdale there. The Cubs, no runs on 2 hits. They leave a pair. And this might be Ellsworth's last inning of work, as he'll be due to lead off in the 7th. So bottom of the 6th, LA leading 4-3. They'll have Fairley, Lefevre, and Torborg. Oh, here's a comment from John. The 69 season. Yeah. Well, the Dodgers weren't very good in 69, if my memory serves me correctly. There's a gentleman on YouTube now named Jeffrey Guterman who's currently doing a 69 replay on YouTube. He has another replay going simultaneously with that. I forget which year. He does a very good presentation as well. A little different style from mine, but I learned some things from him. I should give him kudos for that. When I was going to attempt a replay, I've tried these when I was younger, and I'd get impatient worrying about, how long is it going to take me to finish, or what stats am I going to keep? And he said something that really helped me a lot, and it changed my thinking. He says, I don't worry about finishing. I just concentrate on the process. And I thought, you know, that's words of wisdom right there. I had to make my brain do a U-turn and get my head around that. But that is kind of a philosophy that I've adopted here. And I don't worry about finishing anymore. I just enjoy today's game. I'll finish it when I finish it. Okay, back to this one. Bottom of the 6th. Fairly to lead it off. Ellsworth gets the sign from Hundley. Winds and deals, and it's a 1-5, and he strikes him out. Fairly down on a called strike 3, and he doesn't like it. He walks away shaking his head. And here's Jim Lefevre. Fairly still barking at Bill Williams, the plate umpire. 1 down now, and Ellsworth ready to work to Lefevre. Lefevre hitting right-handed. That's going to be a 4-10. Fly to center, that's playable. That'll be Klein. He ranges slightly to his right and puts that away, and quickly we have 2 outs in the 6th. And here's Jeff Torborg, the right-handed hitting catcher, 0 for 2 today. Ellsworth winds and deals. That's a 3-2. Tapper right back to the mound. Ellsworth has it. Flips to Banks, and that'll do it. So 1-2-3 for Ellsworth. At the end of 6 complete, it's Dodgers 4, Cubs 3. Boy, and Ellsworth's really settled down now for 4. His last 4 innings have been scoreless. And at the same time, he's due to lead off in the 7th with his team trailing by a run. This is tough, I gotta tell you. Part of me wants to let him pitch. He's pitching well. No, he's pitched 3 scoreless innings, I'm sorry, since the 2 in the 3rd. But still, he's settled down nicely. On the other hand, they need to score. As much as I hate to, they're going to have to hit for him. They're trailing by a run, and they're running out of time. So we'll have a pinch hitter for Ellsworth. Ted Abernathy will be throwing in the Chicago pen. He'll be coming in. The right-hander. I remember Abernathy. I remember Ellsworth and Drysdale, but not as well. Abernathy pitched into the 70s. So we need a hitter. Ellsworth went 6 innings. 3. Allowed 6 hits, 4 runs. He walked 2 and struck out 4. So a nice job, decent job for Ellsworth. And now the Cubs need a hitter. And that's going to be Wes Covington, who will be represented by this nameless card that I have selected for him. Covington, a left-handed hitter, end power, slower than Molasses, a 1-8 runner with no possible chance to steal. And here's Covington now. Drysdale ready to go. Wes Covington, the pinch hitter. 6-5 to the lefty. That's a grounder to short X. That'll be Wills. Wills is a 3E27. Here's the roll on the play. On a 15, Wills up the middle. Nice grab and throws him out. So Covington retired on the grounder to short X. And that's the first out of the inning. Back around to the top of the Cubs order now. Glenn Beckert comes to bat. 1 down in the 7th, Cubs trailing by a run. Drysdale winds and delivers. And it's a 5-6. Fly to center, medium deep. Davis ranging over and puts it away. Nice play by Davis, and here's George Altman with 2 down. Altman 1 for 3 today. Drysdale delivers. That's a 5-8 to the lefty. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Drysdale puts him down in order in the 7th. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, still 4-3 LA. And Ted Abernathy will come on now and pitch for Chicago. He would later be traded to Atlanta this season, as you can see there. 93 innings of relief, 4.55. He was the first pitcher in this game in real life. He's going to come in here and see what he can do. He'll be facing the bottom of the Dodger order, Oliver, Davis, and the pitcher's spot. With the switch hitters coming up next. Billy Heft and Cal Kuntz will begin throwing. But now it's Nate Oliver. Oliver, not much of a hitter. He's in there for his glove. Abernathy's ready to go now. Gets the sign from Hundley, and here's the pitch to Oliver. A 6-8. Grounder to second base X. That'll be Beckert. A fine second baseman. He's a 2E26. On a 9, that goes to the error frequency. So on an E26, we're looking at a 9. And Beckert makes a fine play. So that's 1 away. 4-3X, and here comes Willie Davis. It's a tight one here in the 7th, 1-run ball game. Anything can happen. Abernathy ready to go now. Davis standing in from the left side, the windup and the pitch. 6-7 to the lefty. That's a double to 16, but look at that. It's a 17, and Davis will hold with a long single. Just misses the double. So a 1-out base hit for Davis. Davis lightning fast. Faster runner than Wills, frankly, although he wasn't as good of a base stealer. He'll have to be held on. And the Dodgers are going to send up a hitter for Drysdale. What's good for one is good for the other, I figure. So Drysdale pitches 7 today. Gave up, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 hits. 3 runs, all earned. I don't think he walked anybody, did he? No, he did not walk a man. And he struck out 3, 6. So nice job by Drysdale. In the real life game, the Dodgers used Miller, Wilhite, and Reagan. Phil Reagan will warm up in the pen. And we'll find a pinch hitter. Why not? Let's give Tommy Davis an at-bat. He did not play in this game in real life. They used Roseboro, which I find interesting because most of the time you won't pinch hit with your other catcher just in case of an injury. So we're going to play it a little different, and we're going to give Tommy Davis an at-bat here. This was post-injury Davis, of course, not the batting title Davis from '62, but he still batted .313 in part-time play that year. Always better against left-handed pitching. He'll be facing a righty here, and that's okay. It's all part of the game. Just an old man having fun. Abernathy winds and deals. Pitch to Davis is a 4-8. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And down goes Tommy Davis. I better put a T in there because there's 2 Davises on the Dodgers. So Tommy Davis strikes out, and there's 2 away, and that'll bring up Wills. Wills 2 for 2 with a walk today. He's scored twice. Batting left-handed now against Abernathy. And here's the pitch, a 4-7, and he walks him. So Wills has been on all 4 times today. Willie Davis will take second on the walk, and with 2 down, here's Wes Parker. Parker, a switch hitter. Abernathy in trouble. Here comes DeRocher. DeRocher, not a patient man by any means. And right now, he is not happy with Abernathy. So Abernathy will be coming out. Billy Heft, the left-hander, is going to come on. Abernathy only lasted 2/3. Gave up a hit, a walk, a K. Yeah, I think it's, knowing the personality of Leo DeRocher, I kind of think he would have come out there and yanked him right there. He'd have been going, hey, that's enough out of this. We got 2 outs and a runner on first, and you walk Wills. That's enough out of you. We're going to Heft. So Billy Heft, a left-hander. Heft, a 4.84 ERA and 45 innings of work. He is a lefty. That'll turn Parker around, which is what Leo wants to do here. Make him bat from the right side. And hello, Philip, and welcome. Hope your afternoon is going well. Okay, here's the situation. Bottom of the 7th, Dodgers up by a run, 4-3. Runners on first and second, 2 down. Billy Heft pitching to Wes Parker. And here's the pitch, a 1-8. Parker taps it down to second. Beckert's got it. Goes the short way to Kessinger, and that'll do it. That'll retire the side. The Dodgers, no runs a hit. They leave 2. At the end of 7 complete, it's 4-3 Los Angeles. And here comes Phil Reagan, who is nicknamed the Vulture because he would vulture a lot of wins from the starters. He was 14-1 out of relief that year, which you really don't see that anymore in the modern game. I don't remember much about Phil Reagan, but I remember reading about him, and that he was known as the Vulture. And he'll be seeing, he's got to go through the heart of the Cubs lineup here in the top of the 8th. 3 Hall of Famers, Williams, Santo, and Banks. So he's got his work cut out for him. He's got a 1-run lead. Williams steps in now. Reagan, the sign from Torborg, and here's the pitch. That's a 3-12. Deep fly ball to right, fairly back on the track, and makes the catch on the track for the out. So that puts a scare into the fans here at Dodger Stadium. But it's a loud fly out, and here's Ron Santo. Reagan ready to go now. The pitch to Santo is a 3-6. Ball 4, he loses him. Santo down to first, a 1-out walk. Santo no threat to run. And that brings up Ernie Banks. Okay, Banks ready to bat here. Santo not held on. 1 away. Reagan from the stretch. It's a 5-6. Swung on and missed strike 3. And Reagan gets Banks. Oh my goodness, the tension is mounting as Ty Klein steps in from the left side. 2 away. A man on first. The Cubs trail by 1. And here's the pitch from the stretch. It's a 1-7. Fly to right. Playable. Fairley's there, and that'll do it. So the Cubs, no runs, no hits, and they leave him in. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still 4-3. And John West says he played a game where the Tigers, a starting pitcher at second base, really? Was that in the lineups from the actual game? Or was that just something that happened in the Strat-0-Matic game, I mean? Heft getting set to work here in the bottom of the inning. Johnson, Fairley, and Lefevre due up. Kuntz is still out there in the pen, but he stopped throwing now momentarily. So it'll be Heft against Johnson. Heft winds and deals, and that's going to be a 4-7 to Johnson. It's a single to 4, and it's in there on a 1. That squeaks just past the glove of Sano and into left field. And Lou Johnson has a leadoff single. Bottom of the 8th, Dodgers up by 1. Johnson, an asterisk 15, will have to be held on. Heft's a +3. So that makes him a 16 if he could get the lead, but there's too much chance of the automatic caught stealing. So Fairley's going to hit away. Heft from the stretch as Johnson takes his lead off of first. And here's the pitch to Fairley, a 1-2, a liner to second, back to first, double play. Holy crap, would you look at that? 1-2 lefty, line out to the max. So Fairley lines into the double play. The bases are empty and there's 2 down. Well, that'll kill a rally. And here's Lefevre with 2 away. Lefevre turns around and bats righty against Heft now, as Heft winds and deals. And that's a 6-12 to the right-hander. First base X, that's going to be Banks. He's a 3E13. Here's the roll on the play. That'll be the error frequency. A 13 on a roll of a 4, and Banks boots it. Oh my God. Error on Banks, and Lefevre's safe at first. So that's the Cubs' second miscue of the game. And that line out into the double play is looking bigger now. And here comes Torborg, the catcher. Heft from the stretch, ready to go now. And here's the pitch. It's a 5-6, swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Torborg, and Heft gets out of it with some help from his second baseman. The Dodgers, no runs on a hit. They leave a man. There was an error. And we're going to head to the 9th inning with the Dodgers clinging to a 4-3 lead. Hell of a game here. Pretty quick game, too. Oh, 1924, John. That's interesting. You know, I don't know much about that era, but I suspect they probably did crazy stuff like that more often than I think. I'll have to do some more research on that period of time. I do find it very interesting. In fact, one of the things on my short list to do is to replay the 1919 World Series. I'll bet somebody here has done that already. I'll bet John's done it. What do you say? I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Okay, here it is. 9th inning. Dodgers up 4-3. Phil Reagan on the mound. Hundley, Kessinger, and the pitcher's Spot due up. I want to check something in the real game. Most teams did not ever hit for their catchers then. No, and they did not hit for Hundley. Okay, Hundley's hitting. Reagan, the sign from Torborg, the windup and the pitch. It's a 1-9, swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Hundley. 1 away. And here's Kessinger, the switch hitter batting lefty. Kessinger, whose grandson just got called up by the Houston Astros this year. He's also a shortstop. Imagine that. Reagan ready to pitch. Here's the pitch to Kessinger, a 4-3 to the left. That's a base hit the opposite field. Base hit into left field, and the Cubs have the tying run aboard with 1 out in the 9th. And they'll have a pinch hitter for Heft. Kessinger will have to be held on. That would make him a 1-12. That's enough to anchor him there. So Heft's coming out. We'll have a hitter. Heft worked 1 1/3. He gave up a hit, struck out 1. Okay, who's going to hit against Reagan for the Cubs? In the real world, they used Bacabella. That's not a good matchup, though, against Reagan. We got to try to do a little better than that. Jimmy Stewart, the switch hitter. Well, what do you know about that? No, it will not be Jimmy Stewart. It's going to be Byron Brown. He at least can draw some walks. He knows how to get on base. Only hit 243, but a 317 on base. Brown seems to be the best choice for the Cubs here. Pinch hitting for Heft. Byron Brown, right-handed hitter. 1 away in the 9th. Runner on first. Kessinger held on. Reagan from the stretch. And that's a 5-9. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And down goes Brown. And the Cubs are down to their last out. And that will be Glenn Beckert batting. Kessinger held on first, takes his lead. Reagan a throw over there. Kessinger back to the bag. Gets his sign now. Beckert standing in from the right side. Reagan from the stretch. The pitch to Beckert, a 1-5. A single into center field. Kessinger's into third. Oh, my goodness, and the drama continues here in the 9th inning. So the Cubs have the tying run at third base now with 2 away. Potential go-ahead run at first base in the form of Beckert. And here comes George Altman, and let's check the fatigue on Reagan. He's a 3. He's fine. Conference at the mound now. All right, they're going to break that up. First and third, 2 down. Dodgers lead by a run. George Altman, a lefty. Reagan from the stretch. And here's the pitch, a 4-7. That's a single into right field, and this ball game is tied. Oh, my God, look at that again. 4-7, single to 12. It's a 1. So an RBI single for Altman. That scores Kessinger. Beckert to third with the potential go-ahead run. Let's check Reagan again now. He came in here, so he's only in his 2nd inning of work. They still have Miller. Or if they wanted to go to a lefty, Peronoski. They're going to stick with Reagan. So tie ball game now. First and third, 2 away. Runners at the corners here and Billy Williams. And here's the pitch from Reagan. A 6-6. Tapper down to second base. Oliver, he's got it and throws him out. But not before the Cubs tie the game on a run on 3 hits. They leave a pair. They could have very easily taken the lead there. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, all knotted up at 4. And now the Cubs will need a new pitcher, and that will be the aforementioned Cal Kuntz, who was already warming. Kuntz, a righty, 3.81 in 109 innings, primarily relief. He had a couple of spot starts. Reagan's still out there. The Dodgers should really hit for Nate Oliver here in the bottom of the ninth. This guy is just terrible. But the question would be then, do they have another second baseman? Let's take a look. They've got Kennedy. They've got Gilliam. So they've got guys that can play second. Kennedy could go in at second. Or for that matter, Kennedy could play third and Lefevre could go to second. Let's see what he is. He's a three. That's more likely what would happen there. Kennedy, a better third baseman. Okay, that makes sense. Let's find a hitter. Against Kuntz, or righty. You'd like to have a lefty here. Jim Gilliam's a switch hitter. Jim Barbieri, interesting. Roseboro. They used Roseboro in this game. I'm inclined to go with Roseboro. He played in this game. He actually pinch hit in this game in real life. Like I said before, normally you don't do that with your second catcher. But that's what we're going to do. So John Roseboro will come on and bat for Nate Oliver. Oliver was 1 for 3 in the ball game. And here's Roseboro now. And greetings, Mike, and welcome. Hope your day is going well. We got a tight one here. Cal Kuntz has finished his warm-ups now as the pinch hitter John Roseboro steps in from the left side. And here's the pitch from Kuntz. That's a 2-10. Foul out to his counterpart, Hundley, who puts it away, and there's one down. Okay, let's keep him where he is for now. And remember that that's the second base spot. And with one out, Willie Davis will be the hitter. And a dice is down, wouldn't you know it? Okay, there it is. Here we go. One away, nobody on. Here's Willie Davis. Kuntz into the windup. Here's the pitch to Willie Davis, a 6-6. Davis, a double to 9, but on 18, he'll settle for a long single. And Davis, with the potential winning run and a ton of speed, is standing at first base. Davis, of course, will have to be held on. Kuntz, a +3. Hundley, a 0. That's 19. Held on as a 17. And he's trying for the lead. 2 through 5, 11 and 12. He does not get it on a 7. So his second number is a 13. 16 minus 4, that would be a 12. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Reagan. Whew, wow. And that's where Kuntz came in. Reagan worked 2 innings, gave up 3 hits and the tying run. He walked 1. He struck out 3. Bob Miller throwing in the Dodger pen, if needed. Now we need another pinch hitter. Bill Hands. Henley's a lefty. Parker. Johnson Fairley. No, they wouldn't bring in a lefty here. Don Lee's a righty. Kuntz is their best option, but they're going to get Hands up just in case. Left-handed hitter, there's only one left, other than Gilliam, who's a switch hitter. That's Jim Barbieri. He's going to bat here. So Jim Barbieri, who I remember by name only, quite frankly, B-A-R-B-I-E-R-E. Barbieri? I'm pretty sure it was Barbieri. You can check me on that. Left-handed hitter. Davis held on first with one away. And Kuntz from the stretch. And here's the pitch, and that's a 2-3. Grounder to first C. So Banks has that. His only play is to flip to Kuntz covering. And Davis will take second on the play. So that goes 3-1. Davis moves into scoring position, but there are two away. And Maury Wills will be the hitter. Potential winning run out there in scoring position for Maury, who singled twice and walked twice today. They haven't been able to get him out yet. And Kuntz from the stretch delivers to Wills a 6-4 grounder to shortstop X. That's Kessinger. He's a 2, but an E40 on a 6. He makes the play. A fine play by Kessinger, and we're going to extra innings. So that'll go 6-3X. So the pitcher will go in that spot. We need Kennedy to go in now. Kennedy will go into the 7 spot and play third base. John Kennedy inserted into the game. He'll be at third base. He was a fine defensive player, not much of a hitter. He's a 1E17 at third. And Lefevre will move over to second base, where he is a 3E17. So Lefevre moves to second base. And that should catch us up, except we need another pitcher. Roseboro, his day is done. Bob Miller will come on for Los Angeles. Bob Miller was a hard thrower, right-hander. 2.77 in 84 innings. Reagan's done. So here we go, folks. Extra innings. Hey, Coast Kid, welcome. Hope your evening is going well. You're East Coast, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. So with less than an hour before World Series Game 2, we've gone into extras here. This game was going so quickly, too. Okay, give me a minute to absorb this. The Dodgers, no runs on a hit, left a man. And we're going to the 10th. 4-4 game, all locked up. Sano, Banks, and Klein due for the Cubs. Bob Miller coming on to pitch for Los Angeles. Miller gets his sign from Torborg. And here's the pitch, a 2-9. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Sano. Sano's 0 for 4 today. He did walk in the 8th. And that'll bring up Ernie Banks. Miller winds and deals. The pitch to Banks, a 2-9. A triple to 15. That's into the gap. Davis chasing it around. Banks rounding second, heading into third. Here's the throw from Willie Davis, and Banks is in there with a triple. Ernie Banks, a 1-9 runner. Let's look at that again. 2-9. Triple to 15 on a 13. So the go-ahead runs at third base with only one away. The Dodgers will have to pull the infield in, and here comes Ty Klein. Klein, 1 for 4 today. Infield in. Miller, a glance over at Banks, and here's the pitch. That's a 5-3. Fly to right field X. That's Fairley. He's a 2E8. Here's the roll for the play. On a 2, Fairley cannot get it. That's a single, drives in the run, and the Cubs are up 5-4. So a base hit to right field X, an RBI single for Klein. Bank scores. Fairley just couldn't get there. It's 5-4 Chicago. Klein will have to be held on. Miller a 0 hold. That would make him a 1-15. And he's going to try for the lead. 2 through 5. A 5, he's in there. 1-15. And he's in there. Klein steals second. So stolen base for Ty Klein. And the Cubs have another runner in scoring position. And here's Hundley. 1 out, runner at second. 5-4 Chicago. Here's Miller's pitch to Hundley. 1-10. Flight or right, playable. That's Fairley. He's got it. And there's 2 down, runner holds. And here's Kessinger. And Walt Alston, knowing that the Cubs are out of pitchers, they're going to put Kessinger on and pitch to Kuntz. So intentional walk to Kessinger. Let's check Kuntz. He is a 1 hitting pitcher's card, so we got to flip that over. Cubs up 5-4, runners at first and second. It's either that or they bring in Bill Hands to close the game. Boy, that's a tough call in itself, isn't it? The Dodgers will have Parker, Johnson, and Fairley. I don't think they really want... I'd rather have Kuntz out there if I was the Cubs than Hands. So he's going to bat. They've got the lead. 6-4, grounder to third base, X. That's 1E17. That's Kennedy. He was just inserted into the game for defense. On an 11, he's a 7 on a 17. And he makes a spectacular play. So Kennedy's defensive insertion pays off. But not before the Cubs take the lead. A run on 2 hits, they leave a man, and they go to the bottom of the 10th, leading 5-4. Let's take a look at Kuntz now. Kuntz has only pitched 1 inning. He's a 4-rated reliever for endurance. Parker, Johnson, and Fairley due for Los Angeles, now trailing by a run. They led most of this game. And here's Wes Parker to lead it off. Batting lefty. Kuntz gets the sign from Hundley. Here's the windup and the pitch to Parker on a 1-6. Base hit into right field. And it's a leadoff single for Parker, and here we go. Kuntz a +3, 17. Parker will have to be held on. He's not an asterisk, but they can't risk it. And that'll bring up Lou Johnson. So Parker held on first. Kuntz from the stretch. The pitch to Johnson is a 5-6. That's a double 1 through 10, but it's a 14. That'll be a single with a 2-base advance, and Parker scoots into third base for the tying run. Holy crap! The Dodgers come roaring back. First and third, nobody out. Johnson will have to be held on. Wait a minute. Can you hold the runner on and have the infield in at the same time? I don't think you can. Okay, we're going to have an umpire review. Sorry about this. Unless another Strat player can tell me that, but I think... Here it is right here. The defense may not play the infield in and hold a runner on base at the same time. That's what I thought. So the Cubs will have to play the infield in, which means they can't hold Johnson on. He's an asterisk 15, which with Kuntz makes him an 18, and he automatically gets the lead. So basically, no, they can't do that either, because he'll steal the base, and he's the winning run. Wow, this is tough, isn't it? So they have to hold Johnson. He's the winning run. They cannot play the infield in. They've got to hold Lou Johnson on first. And Fairley's the hitter. Kuntz in no danger of fatiguing, but he sure is in trouble. As Ron Fairley steps in. Let's take a look at Fairley. He's 1 for 4 today. Okay, runner held. Infield back. First and third, nobody out. Kuntz from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Fairley. That's out. 3-4. Fly to left field, B question mark. Okay, that means the runner can tag up. It does not automatically score. So that's a fly to right. Parker can tag up. Parker, a 1 through 16. Williams, a +1. That's a 1 through 17. Parker's tagging. The relay to the plate, he's in there easily, and the Dodgers have tied the game on a sacrifice fly by Fairley. So a fly ball to right. Williams to Beckert to the plate, not in time. Parker comes in to score. Johnson holds at first. Sacrifice fly Fairley. And we're all knotted up at 5. So now we've got 1 out, a runner on first, and here's Lefevre. He'll turn around and bat lefty again against Kuntz. Maybe they should have brought in hands. Hell, I don't know. Kuntz is better. Here's the pitch from Kuntz. From the stretch, a 2-5. And that's a base hit by Lefevre into right field. That's an open single, which means Johnson can try to go to third. He's a 16, plus the 2 to third and 18, and Williams 1 through 19, and they can't concede it. He's the winning run. They've got to throw. And he's in there. Normally you concede the guy to third, but here it's a base hit. Johnson's into third, and the Dodgers have the winning run on third base with 1 out, first and third, bottom of the 10th in a 5-5 ball game. And here's Torborg, and they can't hit for Torborg because they don't have another catcher. They've already used Roseboro. That's why you don't do that, I guess, but we did it anyway. Well, they did it in the real game, too. I don't feel too bad about that one. So, they have to be in now. There's 1 out. They have to be the infield in, which means let's look at the base runner. That's Lefevre. He's no threat to steal, so they don't have to worry about him. So we've got 1 away, 5-5. Bottom of the 10th, first and third. Torborg against Kuntz. From the stretch, a 3-2. It's a grounder to third. This is going to be 2. Santo to Beckert to first, double play. And we're going to the 11th inning. Oh my God, can you believe it? Let's look at that again. 3-2 ground ball, third base, A. So 5-4-3, and that ends the inning with the Dodgers tie it on 3 hits and leave 1 erased on the double play. And we're going to the 11th inning here in Los Angeles. Holy shit fire. From the Dodgers' point of view, I would have really liked to have hit for Torborg there, but you can't. They don't have another catcher. So that was Kuntz. Miller is still pitching for Los Angeles, and he'll face the top of the Chicago lineup here in the 11th. What a frickin' game. Thank you, John. I'm just thinking the same thing. Simon, I know you're always rooting for extra innings. Or you were yesterday, anyway. Okay. Well, we got it. Do I need to make any other moves? I don't think so. Okay, let's go with the 11th. Top of the Cubs order. Beckert, Altman, and Billy Williams. Miller, ready to work. Wind up in the pitch to Beckert. That's a 6-6. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Miller fans Beckert. There's one away. And here's George Altman. Altman, the lefty, 2 for 5 today. Drove in the tying run in the 9th. The go-ahead run in the 9th. No, the tying run in the 9th. I stand corrected. Altman drove in the tying run in the 9th. 2 for 5. Miller delivers 5-8. Fly to center, playable. Willie Davis is there. He puts it away, and quickly there's 2 down. And not out of the woods yet. Here comes Billy Williams. He could put him ahead with one swing of the bat. Miller shakes off one from Torborg. Now gets one he likes. Winds and deals. 1-4. A liner speared by Wes Parker. Oh, my God. So Williams blistered it. Parker gloved it. And we go to the bottom of the 11th. And Miller will probably have to be pinch hit for. Kuntz, entering his 3rd inning of work. He's an endurance 4 in relief, so he can handle it. And the Dodgers have John Kennedy leading off now. Kennedy, not much of a hitter, but they don't really have anything else. Let's see what they've got on the bench, okay? You've got Dick Stewart, who has a little power, but terrible fielder, and he's slow. You've got Jim Gilliam near the end of his career when he batted .217. And you've got Al Ferrara, who mostly hit left-handed pitching. Plus, who would play 3rd? Gilliam would have to play 3rd, where he's a 4.23. So, Kennedy's going to have to hit. Kuntz, the sign from Hundley. Here's the pitch to Kennedy on a 6-8. Kennedy taps one down to first. Banks fields it. Flips to Kuntz covering. And there's one down. And that'll bring up Willie Davis. Okay, Kuntz from the windup. The pitch to Davis is a 3-8. That's a base hit into right field for Willie Davis. And they've got speed on the bases again here in the bottom of the 11th. They'll have to hold him on. 17-20. Held on 18. He's a 1 through 18 if he gets the lead. Well, you know he's going to try for that. 2 through 5, 11 or 12. It's a 5. Here he goes, 1 to 18. And Willie has stolen it. Stolen base for Willie Davis, and the winning run is in scoring position with one away. So the Dodgers playing small ball, which frankly they had to do with this team in real life. They were not an offensive team by any means. And now we'll have to have a pinch hitter for Miller. Miller worked 2 innings, allowed 2 hits. A run. He walked 1, albeit intentionally, and he struck out 2. God, what do they have left? Jim Brewer will begin warming in the LA pen. And we'll have a hitter here for Miller. 1 away, Willie Davis on 2nd, representing the winning run. Who would they use? Probably Ferrara. Al Ferrara is going to come off the bench and hit for Bob Miller. So Ferrara, a right-handed hitter. Davis could potentially steal third base. Let's take a look at that. 13, 3 is a 16, minus 4, 12, and he'd have to get the lead. No, we're not going to try any of that shit. Okay, here's Ferrara. Here we go. Ferrara needs to get a hit right here. Coots delivers. 5-10, fly to right field B. That's playable. Williams puts it away, and there's 2 down. So Ferrara, a fly out to right, and with 2 outs, Maury Wills will be the batter. And if Wills doesn't come through, we're going to the 12th. Davis on second, taking his lead. Kuntz from the stretch. The pitch to Maury Wills is a 4-3. It's a grounder to first base X. Banks is a 3-E-13. Here's the play on a 2, a 3. Banks can't get to it. It's a base hit. Willie Davis rounding third. He's going to score, and the Dodgers win the ball game. Oh, my God. Look at it. 2. 3 first baseman, double asterisk single. And Wills comes through with a game-winning RBI. Willie Davis comes in to score. And the Dodgers pull it out 6-5 in 11 innings. Oh, my God. What a ball game. Holy crap. For Kuntz, 2 2/3, 6 hits. I would have brought another pitcher in if they'd have had anybody better, but it's him or Bill Hands. What are you going to do there? Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Kuntz, 6 hits. Looks to me like he didn't walk anybody. He struck out. Where did he come in? He didn't strike out anybody either, and he allowed the tying and the winning run. So Kuntz is the losing pitcher. Miller picks up the win in relief. So for the Cubs, they had 5 runs on 13 hits, made 2 errors. The Dodgers, 6 runs on 14 hits, no errors. A lot of hits in this game. And that's your final from Dodger Stadium. In an exciting game, the Dodgers nipped the Cubs 6-5 in 11 innings. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Thank you, Simon. Absolutely. We are about 30 minutes away from World Series Game 2. And with that, I'm going to sign off here. So you guys have a great evening. Be sure to hit that like button. That helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And this is Steve wishing you all a very pleasant good evening. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy the World Series.